Wow, what a puddle, guys. Welcome back to this new vlog. I think it was pretty stormy here yesterday because the rainwater even came in under the door. Today we're continuing with our drift BMW. As you know, tomorrow is our drift event in Lelystad. Oh, the power went out. Are you okay? The fuse blew. Super weird. Everything's on the door. Tomorrow is the event at Lelystad where we'll drift. And of course, the BMW isn't completely ready yet, and that's what we're going to do in this episode. We're going to finish it. We received a package from Full Car Tuning, which we hopefully can use to mount the wheels soon. The wheel bolts were too big, so they didn't fit in the rim. But just look around me, guys, what a mess. First, we're going to clean everything up, and this really tidies things up. Now we can finally get started. Because we have a few things on the to-do list today, like mounting the wheels. I also received the drifting regulations from Drifty Cadded, and we still need to check if our car meets the guidelines so that we can participate in the drift day tomorrow. And I also want to thank Full Car Tuning a lot for sending us a package, which will allow us to finally mount our dream wheels, guys. As you guys know, these wheels don't fit on the BMW right away. And that's because of the wheel bolts that are in here. The wheel bolts, the heads, they're actually too big, so to speak. And the bore of our new rims is a lot smaller. The bolt pattern should be correct if everything works out. They custom drilled it for us, but these rims aren't easy to find. So these rims were specially drilled for us. 5x120, that's the bolt pattern of a BMW. And what we got from Full Car Tuning. To mount those rims, you need a basic kit. Since we installed the steering angle plate, we now have more steering angle. And because of that, the inside of our wheel hits the chassis. When I turn, do you see how much it can steer? I'm now steering all the way to the inside. And now it's basically running up against your chassis. That's obviously not good because if you start driving and your wheels are rubbing, that means the inside of your tires will just wear out completely. And of course, you don't want that for all of this to wear away. It can even happen that your rim rubs against your chassis. You really just don't want that. So that's why we got a wheel spacer kit from Car Tuning from the same brand as our rims, JR Wheels. Take a look, they're pretty big. They're no less than 40 millimeters wide, or in other words, 4 centimeters. And with that, our wheels will stick out another 4 centimeters, which is going to look really awesome. I'll show you in a moment because we're going to install them. And of course, we have new lug nuts that actually fit our rims. Because with JR wheels, you always need different bolts or lug nuts that fit those rims. Full Car Tuning told us that, because we didn't know at first. We assumed new rims would be a simple swap, but it's not that easy. Let's start by installing the rims first. I'm really hyped. I was also thinking about something else. As you know, race cars have ventilation indicators on the rims. So you can actually see at a glance where your valve is if you need to pump it up or for whatever reason, need to know where your valve is. So that's actually what I wanted to do right away. On our new rims, as you can see, they're pretty deep dish. And to give it even more of a race look, I have a piece of red wrap as well. To actually stick it on the rim. But before I can do that, I actually want to cut a kind of strip from it. And then stick it on that part later, just like our Honda actually has. I'll quickly cut a strip now. Then we'll stick it on the rim together, and I'm curious how it will look. I always have great ideas for wrapping. I'm curious how this will turn out. First, we'll make a straight line. Like this, and we'll just do it. Like this. That strip can be 7 millimeters. Like this. Cut a nice strip like this. And now, of course, we're going to stick it on the rim, like this. There we go. Let's just degrease everything first. I personally think it's gonna look really cool, but I'm just curious if it will actually be like that in real life. I've had good ideas before, so I think it looks really sleek. Take a look. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty funny. So this is what it looks like without... And this is what it looks like with... And you can also immediately see how deep that rim is. You can really see it much better. I also think it's cool that this rim has a double edge. It has an edge here, which actually makes it look even deeper. Yeah, now that we have this rim ready, we're going to jack up the car, and then we're going to mount this rim on the car from time to time to see how it looks. I'm curious how it'll look with the wheel sticking out another 4 centimeters, since they're already out 4 centimeters now. With that spacer, another 4 making 8 centimeters total, then it'll really look like a drift car. So let's get to work quickly. Okay, the old one can come off. Some of you also asked in the comments why there are 4 wheel bolts in the back. Well, that's actually because we have wheel locks on this car. And we just really didn't feel like screwing those locks in and out all the time. So we basically drove around with 4 wheel bolts all the time. Now that we have extra wheel bolts from the front, we can use them in the back, completing everything. Oh, I almost kicked that rim off. I'm excited to install these thick spacers, but before we can install them, those wheel studs actually need to be completely clean. As you can see, there's some corrosion on them, so we're going to clean that off. Before we can actually install the wheel spacers there. And we've also received new bolts, 5 of them to be exact, shorter bolts. So to mount those wheel spacers, I need 5 of them. Now we'll mount these on the car first. This will add 6.4 centimeters. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Will our new dream wheels fit? We're about to find out. Of course, we have those special wheel nuts we got from Full Car Tuning so we can mount the rims. Here we go, guys. I also wanted to show you the spot, what it looks like when the wheel rubs, as you can see there on the frame. We have a rubbing mark, but with these wheel spacers installed, that should no longer happen. Okay, guys, I'm excited. Okay. By the way, I forgot something. I actually got some upgrades, and now they can really go. Alright, the nuts, where we got stuck before, this is going to be sick. They're on, not tightened yet though. But that's not possible yet because the car must be on the ground first. Unbelievable. Hopefully this won't scrape like this. Check it out, guys. Look how my wheels are sticking out about... Let me measure with a ruler and tell you guys. They're sticking out 8 centimeters thick. Look how thick. Honestly, I think it looks really nice. But what would look even cooler is if you put on a fender flare. That's an over fender that actually makes it just a bit wider. And then with that, you would complete the whole thing. We might order it, but it won't arrive before tomorrow's drift event. Still, it looks awesome. Check this out. We're also going to put that red stripe on the other rim, the one that's left, and then mount it on the car. And then we'll check how much steering angle we have in total. Because with those spacers, we also have more steering angle, since the geometry of your steering changes when you install spacers. If all goes well, we'll soon have more drift angles and can go sideways. Which means we're less likely to spin out when you turn the wheel all the way in or out. That's sick, man. And like that. Just breaking the rules for the goal. Ta-da! Let me know what you think of this red stripe. I think it looks cool, especially on the car. Today my ideas are going well, along with the car. There's a mega big rim. Now that those really cool wheels are on it, in other words, our dream wheels. By the way, you really shouldn't hit the curb with this car because look guys, it's a 1.5 rim that sticks out. There's no curb protection on the tire because it's stretched. But before we go through the drift regulations, I'm going to put the starting numbers on the car for a moment. First of all, this also gives it a race look. But besides that, people also know who we are. Once it's recorded, who has which number on that drift day, then they know that we are number 29 or 92. I think I'm going to take number 29 because Daniel and I are twins. That's pretty clear. September 20th, born in 1992. So yeah, we thought it would be nice to just take our birth date and put it on the car. Alright, so I'm going to stick this on the car all around, and I also want to put this on my windshield. But there will still be a window banner here from Drift Day, from the Drift event. Yeah, I don't know exactly where the position is yet, of where our starting numbers are going to be. So I can stick them on 3 spots on the car for now. We're going to do that with you now. So this will give me even more of a race look later, actually. And they'll also know who we are, based on the numbers. If that's not obvious, since it says Twins 2 all over the car, you never know, right? To stick our starting numbers somewhat straight on the car, just put a piece of masking tape on the window. This helps me stick the numbers on straight later. There, the 2 is on. Ta-da, then we are number 29. Yeah, using a squeegee probably makes it a lot easier, but anyway, we made it. There. Now that it's obvious it's a race car, because we've added the starting numbers to ours. Kind of a race livery, you could call it that. It's not really a livery because it's not really a design. But with our sponsor names, there's actually one thing on this car that really annoys me. Most of you as well. They've mentioned it so many times in the comments too, like, guys, why is the tow hook still under our car? We want to make a fun video about that in the future, so yeah, we're going to use that tow hook on this car, so we're not going to completely remove it. But you can just remove this protruding part because it's attached with 2 bolts underneath. So that's very simple, and of course then you're rid of the look of a tow hook. This is actually called a detachable tow hook. So I'm really happy with that, because we can still use it in the future if we want to. Look, it's a drift car, but we still want to shoot a nice video with the tow hook on it, showing that we're using it. So yeah. There. I see they've slightly cut into our bumper. At least you don't have that sticking out part. I just picked up that tow hitch thing from the ground. Wow, this thing is heavy. I don't know if it's a kilo. 3 or 4 kilos. This is just solid steel, so it doesn't just weigh a lot. They've also made our leg much lighter. And now we arrive at the drift regulations from Drift Eye Care Information Technology. Guys, look here. Drift Care Information Technology regulations. You must follow these mandatory rules. They're actually pretty strict too. They don't want you to act crazy. They don't really want you to go. Twin drifting, unless you've arranged that with someone. Twin drifting means driving very close together and taking corners at the same time. Wearing a helmet with a visor is required. Yes, I have a helmet since I always wear one on the motorcycle. So we can also just use this later in the drift car, our beautiful Rove Boxer helmet, so that's a nice bonus. There's nothing about it being a closed helmet or an open helmet, so that's nice. Can they just open or close those as well? It is mandatory to wear a seatbelt. Of course, 4, 5, or 6-point seatbelts are recommended. Rear windows can be opened, but front windows should only be slightly cracked, so your windows must function properly. If you only have one window, then it may stay open. The car must be in technically good and safe condition. It definitely is, and it still has a valid inspection. They expect sportsman-like behavior, especially at the start, where their crew is standing close by. The car is recommended in preparation for safety, and mainly for competition. This is not necessarily important. A 2-star 4-point roll bar or cage is recommended, not required. Amateur drifting. It's not a competition. Bucket seats are recommended. Well, we've got those, and they have to be properly installed. Ours are too. At least 4-point harnesses, a 2-kilo foam fire extinguisher within reach inside the car. We do have a foam extinguisher, so we could put that in the car if needed. There are 2 in the Honda, so we can take them. The car has tow hooks in the front and back. Well, we definitely have that, because as you know, we even got a ribbon for it. This needs to go back. We received a ribbon for it. And a ribbon on the back. And yes, you can really tow this car away with it, so that's great. That's good. We don't have any fluid leaks since the car cools properly and everything works as it should. The car has a tow hook both at the back and the front, no loose or protruding parts. We ask for neat cars. So at the start of the day, complete cars with bumpers, doors and other bodywork. Yes, our car is finally complete, which is great. Respect each other and behave well on the track. All obvious things, it's also our first time joining a drift day. In the past we have drifted before, but that was on public roads. We've drifted on closed roads before, but not really on a circuit like this, where it's kept wet all day. Now that we know our car actually meets the guidelines, there's still one thing on my mind.
Because as you know, our bumpers are attached, but they're clipped on.
On the other hand, we do have these kinds of kits that you basically put into your bumper, like this. And with that, you can hang your bumper. I'm not sure if I should install this now or not. Because it might be possible that they'll have an issue with this during the technical inspection. And then they might say, hey, your car doesn't meet the guidelines or something, just to make it through the technical inspection. Tomorrow I've decided to install those things. It's simple. Make 2 holes, one in your side panel and one in your bumper, then screw in the brackets. Where does the elastic go? There you go, done. It should take about 20 minutes. 10 minutes per side. So we're just going to do it, just to be sure. It says there. Wait a minute. There. Tight is tight. The wheel clamp here back, dent you tight there. And then finally, and a stitch on it. Wait a moment. And then we can do it like this. This way it's just a bit tighter. We're going to do this on the other side as well, of course. And we're going to do that using a camera trick. Now it's also on the right front side. We'll take the car outside briefly to check the appearance. Here's how it looks now on our drone wheels. I think it looks great, but we'll know for sure once it's outside. It's cramped in here. We'll start the car briefly. Okay, first few meters, let's go. This feels good, you know. In a bit, we'll take a short drive, see if it starts up. But for now, I really have to keep in mind that those wheels stick out so far. Because yeah, the fender can easily get hit, especially when turning all the way. It looks like it's going just fine, you know. I can turn the wheel all the way. My turning circle is suddenly much smaller. It's unbelievable. It's starting to rain. I'll show you the final results soon. It all seems to be going well. Our woman. Get out of the cape chair, boy, too. Sure. Really sick. They really stick out a lot. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Now that we also know the car meets all the drift rules set by Drift Event, I feel comfortable bringing our car there. And guys, check this out. How sick are those rims? Thanks again to all our channel's partners and sponsors for helping us build this epic drift car together. Thanks to these sponsors, things were much easier and the budget was bigger. Thank you. That's why we hope to see you all tomorrow at Drift Arcaded at Midland Circuit in Lelystad. We'll add them below in the link. Admission is free for the public, and if you want to drive yourself, I'm not sure if there are any spots left. You should check that on the website. For that, you need to use the link down below. See you soon. Ciao.